So apparently this is what's I don't know if anyone has been keeping up or so, but like another shrine has been burnt down in Japan. So another Shinto shrine has been burnt down. This is the time this time it has to be a Urufushini shrine in Nabari City, the Mie prefecture. This Shinto shrine was over 1,000 years old, survived everything, natural disasters, civil wars, and even World War II, but it couldn't survive diversity.
これはまずいでしょ。いや
This is pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, to be honest.
こんな燃え方しないですよ。火を放たなければ。自然火災じゃないですよ、これは。見てくださいよ、これ。
This is like really bad.
どんな神社でもね、一緒なんですよ。靖国だろうが、伊勢神宮だろうが。神社が燃やされるっていうことの意味をね、私たちはすいません、言葉が出てこないですけど。この意味をね。
If it's survived that long until the diversity comes, and that means that's nothing good to keep them there. Yeah, at this point, you should probably just remove all of them, to be frankly honest.
許せない、本当に。はい、皆さんご活動よろしくお願いします。
So yeah, this has happened basically. So let me take a look at this. 1,200 years of sacred flames extinguished by diversity. Japan's ancient Urufushi shrine lies in ashes after suspects arson, while the kami watch and wait. In the shadowed grove of the Nabari city of the Mie prefecture, Urufushine shrine stood at the long Yoshiro, the vessel of the kami, where the divine of the Japanese soul, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So yet on April 27, 2026, its main hall copper roofed, 150 years young, but rooted with the millennium of continuity, burned in the cinders under the tree under 3 hours. No electricity, no candles, no ritual fires. The head priest had swept it spotless. That morning, police called suspicious locals call it intentional, and the timing. Eerily aligned with the Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's firm stance against unchecked immigration, oversized foreign prayers gatherings, and new Muslim burial sites on soil where 99% of the Japanese choose cremation, and ancestral harmony over imported customs. This is not a mere vandalism. In Shinto shrines are not buildings. They are embodiments of wa, harmony, purity, and the unbroken threads of Yamato. The video footage is chilling. Chartori fragments, blackened beams, a stone lantern, standing sentinel amidst the ruins, while side-by-side images of the mass street prayers in Japanese cities underscore of the growing friction. 12 centuries of resilience undone, blah, 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 blah. Japan has always has chose its own path. The question now burns brighter in the flames, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, basically this is what's been happening or so. There has been some problems that shrines are being burnt down in other places too. This is one of the other ones too as well. As you guys can see, this was this 573-year-old Taihoji temple in Japan, the national treasure with the priceless artworks, got completely destroyed in massive fire.
燃え移りが心配ですね。水巻いてるわ。うわ、暑い、なんか近づくと。大丈夫か？
As you guys can see. This is pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, to be honest.
すがに暑い。
Yeah, it's pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like I said, this has not been doing pretty well, and this is probably the only reason why, that, they're starting to really like hate towards, having hate towards because a lot of people are suspecting that, it's these basically these foreigners, basically the Islam people that are doing this or so. But I wouldn't be surprised because they want to build like a monastery, or not a monastery, but like some kind of like grave or something for their Islam practices and everything like that. But they don't. But like the Japanese. But the problem is like they want it bigger than the whatever shrine or whatever they're referring to. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, that specifically. Yeah, a graveyard. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so unfortunately, this is what's been happening in Japan. I'm like, it's been feuding quite a bit. In my personal opinion, like, well, granted, I come like where I live specifically, right? We have quite a lot of diversity here, right? We have like a lot of different races and everything like that. But the difference is like it's a lot more balanced here, you know? Everyone's got their own like little place and everything like that. Nothing super bad is happening, uh the differences between what we have specifically here and what they have over there is that they don't demand stuff. They don't demand shit. That's the difference, while over there, specifically in Japan, they're demanding for their mosque to be made and make it bigger than their shrine and everything like that and whatnot. So that's basically is what's happening in general. That's like literally the huge difference between like what's happening over there in Japan with the whole bringing in these people or so, and then what's happening over here where we live or so. Like, yeah, we have like a good amount of like place or so, but everyone has their like own section basically. You have like you have the Hispanics in the Hispanic area. You got the blacks in the black area. You got the Indians in the Indian area. You got the Koreans in the Korean area. You got the Chinese in the Chinese area. You have the rich people in the rich people area. We all kind of basically have like literally like our own place specifically. But even then, at the end of the day, we still kind of like conglomerate, and we don't have any issues with one another. We really don't. We don't really have any problems, I understand why they want mosque, but doing it this way isn't gonna convince people to respect Islam. Yeah, that's the thing itself. It's gonna patronize and gonna hate and put towards more racism towards them specifically. It's a huge problem, I will be honest with you, because I feel like they're asking too much. And honestly, they shouldn't be, in my personal opinion, they shouldn't be praying out in the streets like that. But that's just my personal opinion, though. And like, you're coming into another country, right? Because at the same time, right, we don't have anything like this, okay? We don't have like random, like, you don't have them like they practice their stuff, right? Like the other other countries, right? They practice their shit specifically, but they don't demand, or or we can't like they basically, like, they're not demanding or so for them specifically to like ask them to build this and ask them to build that. No, what they usually do is like they usually occupy a like when a business goes out of stock or anything, like, or goes out of business, basically. That's what they usually do. They just pick it up and then they just get the business from there and they just start their business there, and that's how it is, because they understand the rules, because they come in here, right? They can't have the rules bend to them. They have to follow the rules. That's the difference. While over there, they seem to kind of having some issues over there, which they should be following the rules of that specific country, but they're not, which is causing a lot of friction and causing problems over there. But yeah, I just kind of like, I just kind of wanted to share that basically, like, unfortunately, another shrine has been burnt down, which is very saddening, to be honest. I'd be curious to see if they will try to rebuild it. I hope they can. Because if they can't, that's kind of shitty in my personal opinion. But I'm hopefully that they can totally do that. So, but we'll see. To be frank, I also dislike these people here. These people too here. I don't blame you. At the end of the day, I don't blame you. So they're kind of getting to do whatever the fuck they want to do. You know, that's the problem. And that's the only thing. Like personally, like we don't have anything of this extreme. Like we don't have personally anything of this extreme matter, right? Because everybody knows because we don't at least to our knowledge, well, at least to my knowledge anyways, we don't have any Muslims here. We do not have any Muslims here whatsoever, at least not to my knowledge anyway. So but even if we do, they're probably in their own section anyways to begin with, just like how everyone is. But like at the end of the day, we all kind of like, you know, in unison, you know, you have your own place and you just gotta respect it at the end of the day, you know. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I'm just kind of like, because I haven't really like seen it. I haven't really like seen it out in the wild yet, and that's kind of like the only thing. But yeah, it's kind of a sad day of what's happening with Japan, and I'm hoping they fix it, and hopefully they get down to the bottom of it and find the person who basically, you know, who has caused this fires, who's been causing these fires to begin with all of the shrines getting burnt down. So hopefully it gets fixed, and hopefully they manage to track down who it is, and hope they get punished. And if it is an actual you know, an actual immigrant, you know, send them back. As I just say, just send them back, in my personal opinion. Hey Voidlings, hey, did you guys know that I have a Patreon now, and also memberships as well for those who are super curious? $1 for a membership, and then $5 for the Patreon. If you want to support me in any type of way, you can. These will all go for future projects. Also, on top of that, if you want to see some different kinds of episodes or so on the Patreon, you can, because I can't upload these kinds of videos, as you can see here, over to YouTube, because YouTube does not like me. Even though, at the end of the day, other YouTubers do the same thing. Makes sense, right? That I can't do it, but they can. Pretty stupid in my personal opinion. But anyways, for those who don't know, I just want to plug in at least a little bit of an advertisement here, you know, for those who are wondering and want to support me in any type of way. There's that, and there's that. I will not activate super chats because I'd rather do it when I'm streaming on YouTube, but hopefully I'll be able to stream on YouTube. Anyways, that is truly the end of the video, and I will catch you all on the next time. Ciao, everybody. Goodbye.
But wait! There's more!
I wanted to see this real quick. I'd be curious to see if he has more information on this, actually.
January 15. February 7. February 13th. February 20th.
God, Jesus Christ.
April 24. April 27.
こんな燃え方しないですよ。
May 6.
My Jesus Christ, is it becoming like California over there or something? Or what the hell is going on?
And May 16.
うわー、暑い、なんか近づくと。
So crazy things is happening in Japan. Over past few months, multiple shrine and temple across Japan have been destroyed by fire. And many people in Japan, this feels deeply disturbing. Because for us, shrine and temple are not just old buildings. They are part of our spiritual and also cultural foundation of Japan itself. So when these places burned, we naturally asking the questions, what's really happening? Is it just coincidence, by accident, or something more intentional?
It's intentional.
And online, especially on X, the conversation became really emotional. Some people on X are really blaming foreigners, and others are blaming Muslims, and others say people are overreacting. But at this moment, right now, truth is, we don't know. So in this video, I'm not trying to...
But I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually them, because at the end of the day, you know, when you bring someone else's religion into, you know, into a religion of theirs, right, into the Japanese religion, well, you're gonna have conflicting problems with one another. So, and even then, there has been some blood boiling over there too, as well. You know, the kettle has been heating up over there quite a bit, from what I've been hearing. Because we did see those videos of the basically of those videos protesting against the monastic or whatever it's called again. I forgot what it's called already. So
persecute some group of people or push some conspiracy theories. But instead, I want to talk about why these fires causing so much fear in Japan, and why shrine and temple so much matter in Japan, and why these fires connected to anti-gaijin sentiment. Because I believe, regardless of these cases, I think you agree with me one thing: Japanese culture heritage is worth to protect. Okay, to understand why these fires hit people emotionally, include me, you first have to understand the role of Japanese shrine and temple in Japanese society. In Japan, Shinto and Buddhist temple exist everywhere. The amount is, believe it or not, it's modern convenience stores. From massive famous sites such as Fushimi Inari Taisha or Sensoji, to tiny neighborhood shrines hidden between houses. I grew up very close to the shrine and the temples, and these places are deeply connected for local lives. We go there New Year's, during the festival, praying for exam, good relationship, after death with families, and just simply to have some meditative moment. Even many of us are not very seen as religious, or even some people identify as atheist, but we are actually not. We still feel emotionally connected to these places because shrine and temple are connected memories to ancestry, local identity, to childhood. And many of these buildings are incredibly old. Some are 100 years old or even 1,000 years old. Some of them survived wars, earthquake, and modernizations.
Yeah.
And a lot of Japanese old buildings are made by wood, and it has crazy beautiful craftsmanship, but it's highly vulnerable to fire. So when these buildings burn down, it's not just properly damaged. We feel like a piece of our history is disappeared
That is very true.
forever. Because Japanese are praying at shrine for thousands of years. Every time I go back to Japan, I go to shrine and temple and I pray. Even I see myself,
'Cause
it's
you
not
can't
very
recreate
religious.
that.
But this is happening. As of mid-May 2026, multiple major
Let me see. This is pretty odd. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. You also got 5 fatalities too on this temple. I don't know, man. Or anyone who can recreate that architecture is long gone. Pretty much, yeah. So there's been 2 this month. Yeah, I know about these ones right here. I think I heard one of them over here too as well. I didn't know it was this many of them though.
fire involving shrine and temple have been reported across Japan. Among the incidents frequently discussed online are January 15, Sue Shrine in Fukuoka, February 17th, Orange Temple in Ehime, and February 13th, Hotoji Temple in the same place, Ehime. February 20th, a temple fire in Yamaguchi State reportedly resulted fatalities. April 24, Rensoji Temple in Toyama. April 27th, Uru Tomitsuhime Shrine in Mie. May 6th, Furumachi Atago Shrine in Niigata. And on May 16th, another temple fire in Takaoka gained attention online after dramatic footage spread in social media. At this moment, authorities are still investigating the cause of fire. And importantly, there's no public confirmation, organized arson, or evidence linking to these fires to specific group of people or aesthetics. I believe that point matter because online discussion are always moving so much faster than verified informations. And now,
Yeah, of
to be
course.
fair, Japan does experience fire every year, especially with older buildings with wood. It's been around 60 80s fire case every year, but it said 20% of that is by arson. And I do understand psychologically, as Japanese, seeing these fires really connect my emotions. And I'm not gonna lie, my first reaction was exactly same as online. Not gonna lie, because we know humans naturally seek for patterns, especially when sacred places are involved. Here's an example. There's so many graffitis in Japan lately. And many people thought it's by foreigners. And yes, there's the foreigners, I think American, was making a graffiti.
There was
It's
one.
confirmed.
Yeah.
But recently, Japanese man was arrested and he made 300 graffitis that is in Tokyo. That kind of surprised me because
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. I'm like the graffiti one. It was kind of obvious. It's not gonna be like a fucking foreigner who just literally wastes like I don't know $2,000 or something like that to fly over to Japan. Besides that one dude or so that literally did it. But I'm like, come on, man. It's just like, yeah, we see more graffiti coming up. I'm like, it's pretty obvious who is actually making the graffiti. It's definitely not the tourist for that part, anyways.
many of us thought, oh, it's 100% foreigners. But it wasn't. This where the conversation became really difficult. Because online, especially on X, many people already started blaming foreigners, especially Muslims. Some posts point to separate livestock from fire. Others claim Japan under some kind of coordinated attack. Yes, and also to be fair, there's a case Muslim guy was destroying the shrine, saying Allah doesn't exist here. But very important.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm like, if they saw that or so happening,
At this moment, there's no verified evidence confirmed. So this is very important because the fear can be easily turned to blaming. History shows this happened everywhere. And it's really easy to blaming foreigners. And I do understand the feeling. Again, my first reaction was like that. And I do understand why emotion is really high. If sacred places in your country kept burning, you have anxiety for sure. And I have that too. And that blaming and also fear is a very natural human reaction, I believe. But there's a major difference between concern and accusations. The concern would say, what is answers? Who did this? What's going on? And we all should preserve cultural heritage. I agree. But accusation said, I already know who did it, who's guilty. And once society made that kind of easy blaming without evidence, things can become dangerous quickly. The fact is, we already have a lot of foreigners living in Japan, especially for ordinary gaijins who live in Japan, who assimilate cultures, who has family there, who have nothing to do with these incidents.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
many of them, I believe, are living peacefully.
Yeah.
But I do understand Japan as homogeneous society, psychologically, we easily blaming people who is different. I get that. And also, in fact, to be fair, foreigners tend to do more crimes than Japanese. That's the fact. But also, it doesn't mean Japanese
Granted, but it's mostly like the what is it? So far, it's been the third worlders that have been causing the problems the most in these specific first world countries. Because you bring them in for cheap labor, you pay them less. You don't have to pay them that much compared to a normal person who's actually living in that specific country. That's like the huge difference. And also on top of that, usually people who would move to Japan, pretty much most of the time, they're from first world countries. And also they learn the language too, as well. And then they assimilate to Japan, in Japan's culture.
can generalize people, right? I really don't like idea
not
of
really running
generalizing for
defense.
both
He's
sides.
trying to
And I don't
take a
think it's
look at both
healthy for
sides,
society. So I think it's possible to care deeply about Japanese culture.
The problem
without
is like there's not enough evidence you can't just blame Muslims specifically because there's just not enough evidence, which is a fact. There's not really enough evidence of who actually did it at the end of the day. We don't know who actually did it. The only problem is that I'm kind of like, well, it could be them. The only problem, the question, because there's a lot of raising concerns or so. What's been happening in Japan, it's been kind of been boiling over specifically of what's been happening with the tourists slash gaijins that have been causing problems in Japan itself. That's the reason why. Now, I'm not saying all of them are guilty, right? It has to be, that specific group. Maybe once they find out who they are, if they actually are the Muslim people that did it, they should probably just send them back, to be honest. Arrest them, send them back to their country. That's just me, I'm like, if because I know that they also murdered like a bunch of pigs and everything like that too. And I'm like, who in their right mind, who would be selfish enough to burn all of those pigs, And like the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head is like, well, it could be them. So, But I also understand his thought process too of why the reasoning, like he doesn't want to just blame one person at the end of the day or one specific set of race, that it's them specifically. The shitty thing about it too as well, it does kind of suck that they are actually like blaming like tourists, or immigrants, basically that if you're not Japanese, basically, they're the ones, they're the ones you should be blaming. Like they're basically like putting everyone in the same bubble, which is kind of shitty, I will be honest with you. I'm like, it's not really everybody who's doing it. It's just only a subset of group that's doing it, and you should probably get rid of them, in my personal opinion. They're the ones that are causing the most problems in the actual area.
Turning to the concern to the hatred. These two things are not the same. I think these fires are touching deep inside the Japanese society because now Japan is turning point. We are experiencing a lot of massive cultural shift. Rural towns are shrinking. Traditional communities are aging. Some shrine and temple financially struggling. Local festival, which is Matsuri, is disappearing, sadly. And many people who moved to new place, I don't know they're foreigners or Japanese, are complaining temple and shrines to stop New Year's ring, we call it Joya no Kane, saying it's too loud. So many Japanese
If it's too loud for you, get the fuck out of the place. If you don't like it, leave. I don't understand this. I'm like, what? Are you serious? You don't like the noise or so? Then you can just leave. It's pretty fucking simple, man. Oh my god. Like I swear to God, dude. Some people think there are some people who are just so entitled or so they can come into a country. Man, dude, I swear to God, there are some people who get the most easiest opportunities to like actually live in Japan. Because there are actually people who do want to live in Japan, who do want to assimilate into the culture, who do want to assimilate to to their society in general, but they don't get the opportunity because they have the most difficulty. But you get these other people who have it like this or so, and they go in and then they all cause fucking chaos over there,
Japanese people feared and anxious about our cultural loss and, of course, immigrations. So when we see even the video, our shrine is burned, it connects to much larger fear. Japan is disappearing forever, not just because of fire. I think this is why emotional reaction is really intense this time. Again, temple and shrine in Japan is not just symbol, but our identity. So, what should a responsible actually be? In my opinion, answer is not panic and not automatic blaming, but answer is preservation, protection, investment. And I really hope Japanese police do good job to investigate based on the evidence. Otherwise, this fear, I don't think this is end. This is just beginning. And I really don't want to see Japan will be divided. I want to see people, whatever your skin color is, I want to see people who live in Japan go to shrine, praying. I'm not saying they should be the Shinto, but at least respecting Japanese culture and trying to protect Japanese culture and history with Japanese people. Because again, these are core of Japanese culture. Anime, manga, video game, these are not separated from our mindset, history, temple, shrine, manga, anime, all connected. And I believe, maybe just because I'm Japanese culture we have should be protected. It's matter for the world. And I think it's really understandable blaming specific group. That could be many of our first reaction. But to protect Japanese culture and real harmony, we really need to avoid interrupt the dogma, easy blaming, separations, and divine. As a person who live in America and is seeing a lot of easy blaming, generalizing, that happened from left side, that happened the right side, whichever, if you're human, that's very natural to generalize people. But I don't want to see that kind of stuff in Japan. So we need to really handle this case well. But yeah.
It does make sense because at the end of the day, they're gonna easily blame, a certain set of group of people, even though they didn't do anything. Makes completely sense. I understand what he's coming from his personal perspective. They should do a thorough investigation and find out who actually did it, and then they should prosecute those people. And if it is a bunch of immigrants who actually did it, they should like literally, you know, jail them and then send them back to their country, and that's basically it, you know. Like I said, I'm trying to be somewhat reasonable, because you just can't just come and blame somebody almost immediately. I get it though, like there's a lot of like very like eyebrow raising, as in like who actually is doing it at the end of the day, because like, you know, it's easy to just blame, you know, oh, it's the Islamic people that are doing it, you know. I'm like, it could be, you know, at the end of the day, it wouldn't surprise me. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they did it, like a set group, like a certain group of like Islamic people doing it, you know. I'm like, at the end of the day, they should arrest them and charge them and then send them back to their country and get them banned and never come back to their country, you know. And if their family doesn't want that either, then send them with their family as well, and that's pretty much it, you know. But I'm like, we just have to wait and see for the thorough investigation on this, you know. Yeah, like I said, it's suspicious, but we need evidence first. Yes, like it is. There's a lot of suspiciousness about this, specifically, as in like, the shrines and the temples are getting burned, and then now we hear that the pigs were also burned. We can't. We'll put it in with these evidence, specifically how they're connected, but we need more evidence, specifically who can they be, you know. What did they wore on that day, you know? Did any cameras catch them by any chance, you know? Like maybe a camera caught them, you know, in the specific area or in that specific zone. All we can really do is just wait and see. That's literally about it. We can't really do anything else. You can't jump to conclusions immediately, because if you start doing that, and then they're going to start blaming other foreigners at the end of the day. So that's the sad thing about it. You know, we don't live in that kind of world where you can just, like, you know, you can be correct when you blame somebody.
What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments. And also, I'm going to Japan this October, and I see Japan my eyes and I film it. And I'm gonna do interviews, I'm gonna travel a lot of places. So if you haven't subscribed,
I can't wait to see the interviews, to be honest. I like his videos, to be frankly honest. I really do. So there's a person or a group of people with an agenda, or they simply want to see shit burn, and temples are somewhat the easy target. Yeah, that's the thing itself, you know, like what was the point, you know, of burning these things, you know? Whoever burns these beautiful shrines in Japan needs to be held accountable. Yeah, exactly. You know, it is pretty sad that, because we did see it recently, the most recent one that got burnt, and I did see other ones, and then I think I saw the pig one as well. That also got freaking decimated too as well. On top of that, that a bunch of pigs was also. Yeah, so 12 major pig farms fires in Japan in the recent years. February of 2024 in Niigata, March 2024 in Kagoshima, 2025 in Gunma, Yamagata, Shimane, Kanagawa, Aichi, Totori, about 4,000 pigs and plus death. 2026 Hokkaido, Aichi, 2,000 pigs, Miyazaki, and more. So who hates pigs this much? Yeah, so it is a little bit suspicious at the end of the day that they are killing pigs too as well. And if this and now they need to, I think, in my personal opinion, what they need to do, would be my perspective, right? Is to start putting cameras in these shrines, and, you know, and these specific farm places, right? Just secretly put these cameras there, and you can have that, and then maybe have like maybe a stakeout, you know. Yeah, that's the thing itself. They target pigs or so. I'm just kind of like, you know, it is pointing towards them. You know, it is like the needle is moving towards them specifically and making them look bad. But then we still need the hard proof evidence to slam them down, to be like, yes, it's them specifically. We just don't live in that specific society where people can just get immediately, you know. You just have to wait. You just have to wait. It's a wait and see kind of type of thing. The only thing is what are they going to do, either to prevent this or to catch the people who are actually doing this. That's basically all on the Japanese police force and the investigation team and what they need to do. They need to also, like, you know, they need to immediately react to what's going to happen or so, or else it's going to be or else it's going to happen again. So yeah, that's all I can really say. Like I said, what I would do is start putting up cameras or start having like stakeouts within the vicinity of the area, you know? And that's basically it. Hun, you need to relax, because this is just how the world works, okay? You can't just jump into people, because at the end of the day, if you can easily start blaming people, you know, they're gonna start blaming you for you being a foreigner in Japan. So, and you're gonna be discriminated almost immediately. So, like I said, I'd be discriminated. Scrap would be discriminated. Any one of you guys who wants to go visit to Japan, especially someone who has dark complexion skin, would be discriminated almost immediately. Like I said, it's you don't want to start blaming almost people immediately. You really don't. Like, I get it, you know, I get it. You don't like the Islamic thing. I get it. The whole thing is a little bit of a turning point of what's been happening recently. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, what they're doing is bad. Don't get me wrong. What they've been doing right now has been bad in general. But we need a little bit more evidence before we start, you know, pointing fingers and blaming people at the end of the day. So, like I said, that's all it is, you know? Innocent until proven guilty? Pretty much, yeah, you know? But, like, well, we have to see. We have to basically just wait and see. All we can do is just basically wait and see. We can't do nothing about it. It's all on literally the task force, the police investigation and everything, for them to react to this and act to how fast they can actually do it. Don't get me wrong, I see many dots to make a line, but unless I have proof that that accusing doesn't mean anything. Exactly. Unless we get actual physical video proof that we see of Muslims sneaking into the shrines and causing the fire themselves, we can't say anything. That's about it, you know? We just can't. Okay? Unless we have physical, actual, hard proof that it's them, we can't do anything. That's just how the world works at the end of the day. I get it. You want to blame them. It's understandable. I get it, you know? The way how everything it is, I get it. I'm on your side. I do also want to blame them too. But at the end of the day, you got to sit down and be logical at the end of the day, okay? All right? You got to sit down and be logical and be like, okay, we have to find out who are doing this. Like, who is actually doing this to begin with. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, if we have actual proof that they did that and / or encourage that, then sure, kick them all out. Exactly. Yeah. I'm just like, you know, once you actually have the hard proof and everything that they actually did it and they're encouraging to do this across the entire, like, Japan country itself, yeah, just fucking round them up and kick them out. Simple as fact, you know? That's about it. But we shouldn't jump the gun and give them more ammo. Yeah, that's kind of like basically it. So, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens at the end of the day. So, but for now, we just have to sit and wait and let the task force do their job and do the investigation, and hopefully, you know, they do catch the people who it is, and hopefully they get charged and prosecuted to the highest degree for them for actually destroying a part of Japan's history. You know, a piece of Japan has basically been lost now. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and peace.